here's a story that Tom's talking about. Brace for a recession in 2023 as job losses top 2 million, city says. This is a Fox Business story. The U.S. will likely tumble into a mild recession next year and sees unemployment top 5%, according to a new report from Citi Global Wealth Investments. The group said in its latest Outlook report published this week that the economy could lose an estimated 2 million jobs in 2023 as the jobless rate climbs to 5.25%. We believe that the Fed rate hikes and shrinking bond portfolio have been stringent enough to cause an economic contraction within 2023. And if the Fed does not pause rate hikes until it sees contraction, a deeper recession may ensue. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates at the most aggressive pace since 1980s in a bid to fight inflation. So this is coming. Unemployment is coming next. Even Jerome Powell yesterday when he was giving his speech, I don't know if you guys watched his speech or not, he was even talking about how they're expecting to see unemployment crack 4.6% next year. At the Goldman Sachs event, when I asked David Solomon, their number they're looking at is 4.3, 4.4. I think it's going to be above 5%. I think it's going to be above 5% in 2023.
Meaning if you like your job and you're doing good at your job and you want to keep your job,
do better.
Step up.
Yes, step it up,
or
everybody.
you might be stepping out.
Can I tell you something? I know you won't hear me saying this. You remember when last year, like, hey, I don't care, go take the bigger race elsewhere, all this other stuff?
Yep.
Here's what I will say. If you, during COVID, during all this mess, you were loyal to your employer, you can go ask for a raise. If you were loyal, you didn't play gamesmanship, you didn't bully the employer, you kept your head down, you did your part, you've earned the right to go ask. Because that is something that companies value a lot. And by the way, companies, if you, now obviously you can't go out there and say, give me a freaking, whatever percent raise. I'm not talking about that. Don't go say, I think I deserve this raise. But you've earned the right to ask for a raise. And if companies who bitched about the fact that people were bullying you by shopping the salary, if you don't take care of your employees who were loyal to you, you're just as guilty as those who were bullying others. Mm-hmm. Because this season is the season to reward loyalty. Because there were a lot of people that were loyal. This is the time to reward loyalty. And I'm talking, if people were with you from the beginning of 2020 to today, no bitching, and they saw people going and, back and forth, all this stuff, those people deserve a raise. Every single one of them. That went above and beyond. I'm talking about guys that are doing their part. Everybody deserves a, 3% raise or whatever that is that people are getting, but I'm talking guys that truly went above and beyond while everybody else was shopping left and right. Those guys deserve some kind of a raise, okay? So that's also the difference behind it, right? Employers can't just sit there and say, well, the grass is not green on. You're right, it's not, because the grass is only greener on where you water the grass. The grass isn't green on where you don't water it. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship, gym, finance, business, career, all that stuff. But loyalty. And by the way, did you see what Goldman Sachs announced? David Solomon announced this week? The biggest bonus reduction in the history of Goldman Sachs. Mm-hmm. They're paying the least amount of bonus. Can you zoom in? If you type in David Solomon and bonuses, David Solomon, chief executive of Goldman Sachs in New York on Tuesday, December 6th, 1 year after Goldman Sachs paid out the largest bonus on Wall Street, the investment banking giant is considering slashing banker bonuses by around 40%, the largest cut to payouts since 2008. Good for him. He's doing the right thing. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the profits to do it.
Yeah.
What he's saying is,
logic.
Hey, you were going to get, let's say you were going to get a 30% bonus on your salary. So in him saying he's slicing it by 40%, that means you're only going to get an 18% bonus because it's tied to the profit of the company. So 40% of 30 would be 12. 12 goes away. So I still get a bonus. I'm getting 18% bonus, not 40, because the profitability of the company wasn't there. He's making a straight up move.
You mean 18%, not 30. That's what you meant.
I get 18, not 30, because 40% goes away.
Can I add to what you were saying? I think it's so important what you were saying about loyalty and stick-to-itness. Like you might be, like the last couple of years have been very difficult, whether you're an employee or an employer, okay? And you use the relationship analogy. I did a segment on my show, the Soscast, yesterday, about how a lot of men and women, but in this particular case, women, are developing shiny object syndrome because of social media. And basically, you know how like the famous phrase, comparison is the thief of joy. What happens is this woman gave the analogy. She's like, I have this guy, he checks all my boxes, he's amazing, but then I go onto social media and I see so many other options out there, and maybe this guy, or maybe that guy. To use that analogy with your job, it's like, okay, maybe you like your job, maybe whether it's a job or relationship, there's not all good days and there's not all bad days. We all know that. Mm-hmm. But to use the relationship analogy, she was like, I don't know, maybe there's a different guy out there, but she just said this guy checked off. He's like, your ideal guy, but you're still sort of sifting through social media to see what else is out there. Guys are, guilty of this too, but it's to your credit. If you stayed loyal in your job, in your relationship, and you went through it, now here's the reward mechanism.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of abusive environments. There's a lot of environments that's just purely abuse, and this. In military, at the time of my life on my unit, I see positive in almost everything wherever I work. Like I loved Haagen-Dazs, I loved Bob's Big Boy Burger. I love my jobs because I love people. I love people, getting to know people's stories. And yesterday I learned we had a F-15 pilot here yesterday, right, from the Air Force, who runs a consulting firm. I heard him speak 17 years ago, so we're having a conversation together. He was here yesterday, and he's talking to Vinny. And they're talking, and then Vinny's telling him who he is. And then the fighter pilot, did you know he was the Airman of the Year
for the Air Force?
For the entire Air Force. I said, wait, what? He says, Vinny's like, yeah, I was the Airman of the Year. I said, how big of a deal
Vinny
is
was?
Vinny was the Airman of the Year for the entire Air Force.
What,
and then this guy was
Tom,
like,
don't touch that, Tom. When you do that, it's making static. Like, move it like this, okay? You're touching it like with the move it like that. You're moving it with the wire. So Vinny was the Airman of the Year, is what he was. Think about out of how many total soldiers in the Air Force?
Shit, I have no idea. But this is just for enlisted, mind you. And this is a F-15.
None. They're all airmen.
F-15
soldiers are in the Army.
And mind you, this guy, Pat, what was the guy's name? That guy was awesome.
Yeah, he's a beast.
pilot.
We have a meeting with him tonight.
92,000.
Bro, that's Vinny.
Look at me.
The Airman of the Year.
Change that picture, Rob.
He was the Airman of the Year.
Change the picture, Rob.
Here's the point. But you know what the point?
Rob, get it off.
You know what the point I'm trying to make here is? Here's the point. Some environments are bad. Fair enough. But you can have any job and you can have a positive attitude. You're going to do good in no matter whatever environment you're in, right? But those that are going above and beyond, and you're working for a company that's got a real vision, that's working to developing themselves, you can have a career there. Listen, man, be patient. Eventually good things are going to happen to you. It's just what's happened here. Yeah. Very simple. So with all the craziness taking place, I believe future looks bright. If you believe future looks bright, get your latest Future Looks Bright hat of Valuetainment. It says Future Looks Bright here, Future Looks Bright here. We got them in white, we got them in black, we got them in red. Our black on black sold out. These are about to sell out. If you haven't ordered one yet, we had a person in Michigan, bought one, then he bought three. Then when those 3 people weren't in the office, they had to order 58 of them because people wanted the Future Looks Bright hat, especially during times like this, because ain't nobody saying Future Looks Bright. To order your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here. And to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.